Okay, so here it is, guys. It's my review on Life is Strange. So I did upload what happened and why the series has been discontinued. If you didn't get that, it's basically because I recorded it, but it turns out it wasn't recording, and I've ended up selling the game to pick up a new one. But basically, let's continue on with this. So, Life is Strange is a game following Max Corfield, the girl on the left. And basically, she learns out she can turn back time, and that kind of adds an interesting gameplay mechanic into the game straight off the bat. And you quickly meet up with your friend, your very old friend Chloe, to the right, on the right hand side of the image, and you end up kind of forming a team and going on adventures, kind of trying to figure out what's going on around Arcadia Bay. You're always getting this kind of like this big thing about how there's a massive tornado or twister about to hit Arcadia Bay, and everything's kind of leading up to that throughout the game. Also, quickly, before I really get too in depth, there will be spoilers in this review, so if you haven't watched a playthrough or you haven't played it yet, do so probably. So I will be spoiling some stuff throughout this game, through this review, sorry. So anyway, back onto it. So, the biggest kind of points in the game for me that made me feel like really immersed into it. When Max and Chloe first met up, I didn't really like Chloe to begin with, but then in the end, I kind of liked the build up between the two characters, and I ended up really liking them. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to see a couple form between them because they were pretty cute together. But another big point that really kind of got me into the game was when Kate was on the roof and her suicide. I didn't save her, unfortunately. I told you can. I've seen people type in comments of other Life is Strange playthroughs, which I watched after doing mine to see what other people did different to me. That you can save her, but I didn't manage to do it, unfortunately, which sucks. But hey, it was an attempt. Of course, there was the finding out about Rachel and how she's been dead this entire time. That was a pretty big plot kind of add into the game, which I really enjoyed how they did that. Also, when Mark Jefferson ended up being the guy who's been kind of tutoring Nathan on how to be an absolute creepy asshole. I liked Mr. Jefferson up to that point, but after that, he became one of my least favorite characters. And we can't talk about immersion without the final part of the game, which is this. So, coming on screen now, this was your final option. So, the entire twisters, all that stuff, because at the start of the game you saved Chloe's life when she was meant to die. And your final choice in the game is to either sacrifice Chloe or sacrifice Arcadia Bay. And you guys are probably wondering which one I ended up choosing, and I chose to sacrifice Arcadia Bay. I grew too attached to the two characters, and I just couldn't bring myself to kill Chloe off. I really liked her as a character, I just couldn't do it. But before I sold the game, I did go back and I clicked what happens if you click sacrifice Chloe, and basically Max kisses Chloe, and then she goes back and she doesn't actually save Chloe from the shot, and you kind of see the funeral and so on. So yeah. But anyway, let's kind of continue on. So continuing on back onto the stuff. So my usual categories in review are gameplay mechanics, which are a big thing for me, the graphics, the storyline, the soundtrack, and the character development. So let's get straight on to. We'll go with character development first for this game. So definitely the build up and the characters is well done. You end up feeling for quite a few of them, and they end up hiding away some stuff from the characters that you don't need to know till later. I got to give the character development in this game a 9.3 out of 10. Sorry, excuse me. Graphics, I adore the graphics on this. They're not necessarily the most realistic, but the graphics, just in general, they feel really good. If if you guys have played quite a few games, you can understand what I mean by that. Some graphics make you feel good, and that's what this game does for me. I got to give the graphics a 9.8 out of 10, so quite high. It would be a 10 out of 10 if the graphics were... only way it can be 10 out of 10 if the graphics are borderlining realistic, but this one just made me feel like they were pretty good. Soundtrack's a 10 out of 10. That doesn't need any thought from me. When I got the pre-ordered version of this game, I got the soundtrack with it, and it is fucking amazing. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, it's a fucking amazing soundtrack. I'd recommend you take the time to listen to it if you haven't already. And yeah, that's about 10 out of 10 easily from me. Storyline, I love the story of this game, but there were a few ifs and turns for me here, where I just couldn't get behind it at points. I can't... There were problems with the game's story, definitely. There were some plot holes that could have been explored a bit more. But hopefully that'll be explored in the sequel, which has already been announced, which I can't wait to play. And hopefully when I pick that up, I'll be able to properly record it for you guys. So I'm sorry about that. But definitely, Storyline's going to get a 9.1 out of 10. Can't give it any higher because, again, I do have several problems with the story, but they're okay. Pretty damn good story. And finally, gameplay mechanics. So I like to judge this on 1, if the mechanics work, 2, if they feel smooth, and 3, if they're unique. And I gotta give Life is Strange a 9.8 out of 10 for gameplay mechanics. Really fucking well done gameplay mechanics. Like, the mechanic itself of the turning back time really changes up the choice genre. For example, like on several choices, big choice in the game, you can just reverse time and re-choose it. So stuff like when Kate kills herself or at the very end of the game, those aren't ones you can reverse. So it kind of gets you used to the ability, and this is leading up to the Kate thing, right? So before the Kate big suicide section, you get kind of, you know, you can reverse back your choices, right? But when the Kate section happens, you've used your powers so much that it physically, it's killing you to use them again, and you're unable to rewind to reverse your choice when you say to Kate. So it's kind of showing you that while your power can change choices, it has its limits. And that was kind of like a big thing for me. I really enjoyed that. So, yeah. I don't know if I already gave my score. Shit. Did I give my score? Hopefully I did. If I didn't give my score, it was a... Shit, I'm going to contradict myself now. I think I gave it a 9.1 out of 10. Yeah. Well, if I haven't given it, it's 9.1 now. But if it was something else before, sorry, I'm stupid. But yeah. So, overall, my overall score for the game is, and it is a 9.6 out of 10. I would recommend this game to anyone who wants to either play with good graphics, see an interesting storyline, try out a really unique game mechanic, or just enjoys an involving game where you get in and you end up loving the characters. But yeah, that's my review. I hope you guys did enjoy this review and it found it informative. That's all I can really say about it. Look forward to seeing you guys in my next video. Look out for my top 10 games of 2015, which is coming like 6 months into fucking 2016. But hey, it's coming out. But hope to see you guys then. And also look out for later today for some streams that I'll be going for. Anyway, peace.